I wish to welcome you to Kibabi University.
No problem.
For those of you who we have not interacted, welcome to Kibabi University.
Yes, sir.
This is one of the public universities in the Republic of Kenya. We shall have this course every Thursday, and we shall agree whether to start at 7 or to start at 7:30. What is your best time to start? You can even say we start at 9. I have no problem.
8.
8, sir.
Why 8? Do you want us to start at 8?
At 7.
Like to start.
You know, if you take this to be a joke, then I'll dictate terms. If you take this to be a joke, I'll dictate terms. Debbie, I give you the first warning. Deborah, mute. Deborah and Debbie, mute. Ones who find it rough, Roger. Please, I want us to cooperate. I want us to move together. I want us to go through the course step by step. Please cooperate. Eddie, mute. Gabby, for the last time, I request you mute. EDA 0503, you mute. And all others. I can see from my end those who have not muted. Please let me not take you to my black book. So I've said that I'll take you through this course. This is a first year, second semester course that is offered to all first year students of Kibabi University. The purpose of the course is to provide you with the general knowledge for life skill, the general knowledge for you to survive, the general knowledge for you to apply in your various degree programs. For this purpose, we wish to provide you with a round background so that in your respective professions that you are taking, we provide you with a background necessary for your day-to-day life. Perhaps the reason this course is a common course, and the course is quantitative, because we want to apply those mathematical concepts to our respective areas of expertise. We expect that by the end of this course, you should be able to represent and analyze data, because every day you will be dealing with the data or information which you need. This will be based on the statistical analysis. We expect by the end of the course, you should be able to apply the basic concepts of matrix to solve day-to-day problems. We expect by the end of the course, you should be able to understand the budget preparations and the budget policy, and for that matter, understand the public finance. This is a common course that wishes to introduce you to those concepts. We are now saying, oh, the economy, taxes. We shall understand from this course what taxation is all about. We shall understand from this course the cost of living. We shall understand from this course how to measure the changes in the prices of a commodity. And this is the index numbers, which is a basis and a measure for the cost of living. We look at this and you realize that the course might have some political implications, political references. And I wish to request from the word go that all the political examples, institution examples that we shall use are purposely meant for this course to be understood, but not for any other external use. We look at it and we say, please pay attention. We look at it and we say that we shall, by all means, we shall do what we can so that we cover the entire syllabus as expected to meet those objectives. We look at it and see indeed that the content so far prescribed for this course is for the purpose of understanding and bettering our life. Basically, the course is going to be taught through lectures, directed readings. You can have your own tutorials and group discussion. We shall have this course on blended mode, but basically we shall be online because of the numbers. We shall use and we shall endeavor demonstrate as much as possible what we are supposed to demonstrate by use of technology. This is the second time I'm teaching this course through technology. I did it with the previous years and we succeeded. Ladies and gentlemen, the basic university rules and regulations governing examinations shall apply. We shall have continuous assessments that shall constitute 30%. This can be in terms of assignments, project work, homeworks, sit-ins, and what have you. The final end of semester examination shall carry the remaining 70% to give us a total of 100. The grading system shall be as per the university regulations. 70 and above, grade A, 60 to 69, grade B, 50 to 59, grade C, 40 to 49, grade D, and finally, below 40 shall be E, supplementary, commonly referred to as STUP. So if you fail the first time, you will have an opportunity to do the exam the second time. If you fail the second time, you will retake the course. So we request that you students, you take keen interest in your studies. We request that you attend your classes, do the exercises, participate positively, you understand the course so that you can internalize and pass at first time. Remember the university rules, you will not proceed to the subsequent year of study unless you have passed. This is, let me say and say Wongo, we shall see. And I pray, let me not curse you. We have a number of core materials for reading. They are there. They are in the library. There are even others that are online. Above all, we shall have this course on the University Learning Management System, the LMS. You are free to access it at any time. Read the notes and the content provided thereof. Do the exercises. And above all, I'm always available. You consult. Where do you find me on campus? You will find me in ABB 214. That is the office you will find me. I'm available on phone. I'm available on Twitter. I'm available on WhatsApp. I'm also available on my phone number is 0726 460 769. You can consult via that number to find out where I am, and we can deal with any problem that exists. I want, before we look at the main content of the course, I want us to set the ground rules that in this course, the lecture shall always begin on the hour, but not later than 15 minutes after the hour. So if the lecture is at 7:30, by 7:45, the lecture will have started. Failure to that, there is a course outline here. There are reading materials in the library. There is reading materials in the LMS. Make yourself busy with them. If I wait for you in the lecture room for 15 minutes and you are not there, I will disperse myself and give myself other duties. Unless there's prior communication from me to you to your class reps, unless there is prior communication from you through your class reps that the lecture shall not take place as scheduled for given reasons. So we can start early, we can start late, as long as there is communication from either party. I want to request that we maintain total silence while in the lesson. Hii maneno ya kelele pere, you tell people order and they are doing their own things. I don't entertain that in my class. And if you are persistent, from where I sit, we can bar you from attending this class. Usijifanye wewe ndio unajua. Iko watu walikutangulia na wanajua kukuliko. I've taught this course from 2003, before some of you were born. So there is nothing new. You are going to teach me on how to teach this course. I've done it, and I will do it. Consultations are personal. I insist. You consult at personal level or at group level. I'll be available for that. But any unnecessary disturbance in my lecture shall not be entertained. How are we going to blend this? I'll be sharing with you through this mode. Then I'll be working out appropriate examples on the whiteboard. So you need to be very keen. You are free to ask questions. How shall this be done? You can raise your hand from your gadget. I will see it from my side and will give you an opportunity, then you talk. You can post your question on the chat box provided there. I've already seen some of you have put your registration numbers. Very good. I'll be following the chat box during the lecture. I want to move with you. And please follow and register for the course. It gives us a record of those who have attended. Because I can see over 700 are in this class today. In case you have any challenges, kindly visit Odell in ABB 101. They are ready and will support you. They will sort out any of your challenges in terms of the technical aspects. Matters of the content of the course, you look for me. We shall do cuts, and if you miss, it is up to you to look for me for a makeup cut. I'll not look for you. At the end of the day, we shall have a cut mark. And if you miss any, that will be your own problem. Are we there together? We'll mute. Now, what is the content that we shall look at? This course is divided into about 4 major parts. One, in terms of the content distribution, is the basic statistics. We shall define statistics, look at frequency distribution, because our objective is to analyze, collect and analyze data. We shall collect, we shall organize, we shall analyze, and we shall represent under that consideration. Matrix algebra, we shall define, and we shall see its application. Public finance, very important. We shall wish to understand the government, public revenue, public expenditures. Then look at the instrument which will help you in terms of even your own financial management. And this is the budget. You received the money last semester. Some of you didn't know what to do with the money. Some of you were partying after party. And I was just checking the social media and saying, wow, I wish I could have taught you how to manage your funds. So at the end of this course, please make it an effort to understand how you can budget and implement your budget to manage your finances. We shall look at it more keenly, more than even the national budget. Then, of course, everybody's talking about taxation. Taxation, we shall delve into the matter of taxation and see how this concept of tax affects you and me, how it is computed, and how and why it should be there. Then we need to look at the issue of the cost of living as the last part. And this is by analyzing what we call the index numbers. We shall define and state the uses and compute price indices, because price indices are the measure of the cost of living. We want you to understand. We don't want some of you just to go political. At oh, maisha ni gari, maisha ni nini? What makes people say so? This is something that you need to understand. Then, of course, as a way of investment, we shall look at briefly investment and more so, how do we invest and how does this issue of the stock market affect the cost of living and related items. So those are the 5 key areas of the course. We shall endeavor to cover that. Anything you wish to know about the course before we start, you are free to ask at this point. So if you have Ambrose Odero, you have raised your hand. Unmute yourself and talk. Ambrose Odero. Please zoom the screen. We zoom how? Clinton. Is there anything that you are not seeing?
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, I wanted you to please return to the course contents. I want to screenshot them.
Okay, the course content, I'm going back to that. There's somebody else who has raised the hand. EDA
Yes, sir.
032 0342.
Yes, sir.
Yes, is your term?
Yes, I would wish to know, are we going to use calculators in this course?
Are we going to use calculators? The answer is in affirmative. Analysis, you need it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other? So Odero, there is the first 3 topic areas. You are screenshotting, I hope. Public finance is there. Let me see if I can have this. Yes. Taxation and then index numbers. Now, this course outline shall be available on the LMS.
Yes,
3 participants have raised their hands.
yes, lecturer, I have a question. You said that
Equaro.
yes,
Please.
you said that you said that we are going to do some of the tasks in group. How can we going to how are we going on that?
Please, you did some common courses last time in the last semester. Group work can be at your own level. You can form group discussions for yourself. Group work can be in terms of the tasks that I will give. So you group yourselves. I'll not, you are over 2,000. I cannot group all of you. So you can group yourselves. Form your own group discussions to be discussing. I'll be teaching and giving questions to elicit your thinking, giving exercises for you to do. Some might be for correction and marking, and others might just be for your own practice. So it will be good if you formed groups and you worked in groups to understand the concept better. You can also consult on given concepts in this course in terms of groups. Didan?
Okay, I've just visited the LMS and I've just seen that you don't have an enrollment key. I don't know if that is the notes that you've put it there or what.
Okay, enrollment key. I said for any technical help, we work with Odell in ABB 101. We shall consult with them, also consult with them. I'll be asking them so that we upgrade to the current system, the contents of this course.
Okay.
Mike Nalianya?
Yes. What is LMS?
LMS, very good. This one is a learning management system. This is a platform from which you students can access learning materials in this university. Perhaps to make it easier for you, have you ever heard of something called the e-learning, the e-portal, the e-learning portal? If you have, then when you log into that portal, you will access the courses. That's what we are referring to as the learning management system. Sawa sawa? We proceed. You are free to ask all your questions today, because once we start, it might be very difficult for some of you to ask. Stephen Mukubi?
Hello, sir. I just wanted to know if you will be sending notes.
I repeat myself. Notes are on your e-portal, e-learning portal. They will be available there.
Okay, thank you.
Consult with
Okay.
Odell and see how you'll access it if you don't know how to access it. Isaac Akarani?
So, Mr. Lecturer,
Yes.
does it
I gave
mean
my
that
name. Feel free to call me by my name.
Mr. Duncan?
Yes.
So, does it mean that in this particular common course, we will barely deal with the pure mathematics, or there are some other things we will
No,
deal with it?
I'm telling you that it's not pure mathematics. This is quantitative skills, my brother. We are only borrowing the concepts and skills from mathematical point of view to help us understand what is necessary for us to understand our environment, to understand our community, to understand our institution, to understand our country, to understand our economy for a better livelihood.
Thank you.
It's quantitative, not mathematics. That's what I'm saying. Daniel Amunya? Daniel Amunya Otieno? Mtangazaji ama nini? Daniel Amunya? Rivaldo Suju?
Hello, Mr. Duncan.
Suju?
I'm confused. Yes.
Angana inua mkono and you have nothing to tell us to ask. Dan Wamalwa, did you talk? Wamalwa?
Yes, sir.
If you talk, you unmute.
I
Atinda,
wanted
Justus.
yes, sir.
Rigiji. Rigiji?
Yes, sir. I am
Well, somebody patented the name Rigiji. That's the deputy president. What are you doing with the title Rigiji? Proceed.
Yes.
Rigiji? Simpson.
No, sir. I raised my hand.
Simpson. Masika Joseph.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Maybe a word of
Joseph
encouragement.
Masika.
Yes, sir.
A word of, you speak up. Ongeza sauti kwa hiyo gadget yako. Ongeza sauti. Internet is unstable. Masika Joseph, wewe ulikula mwisho wa 2022?
Hapana bwana.
Ongea sasa mwanaume bwana. Sisikii bwana ya tu soft. A word of encouragement. Please encourage us.
Sir. Unaweza nisikia sasa?
Yes.
A word of encouragement. Yes.
Yes. You want a word of encouragement?
Yeah, I used to fear.
You used to do?
To fear mathematics.
Wewe unakatika katika bwana, check your connectivity my brother.
Okay.
Katika, I'm not getting you. Anybody getting him to speak? Elfas Wanjara?
Hello.
Elfas?
Yes, is already connected, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
My issue is concerning we have those guys who have not back to their platform because of unnecessary issues.
What are the issues? That's what we need to fix.
The inconveniences about not being able to register units. Or what do you say about that?
If they are not, they cannot, they are not able to register.
Yes.
That is now something that you can deal with the Odell.
Okay.
And the director Odell gave instructions. Wewe ni class rep, Elfas.
Not really.
Kwa hiyo wall ya class rep wakasema those with problems to visit Odell 101.
Okay, all right, all right. Thank you.
So could you pass that information, those with the problems, to come to room 101?
Okay, okay.
Sawa.
Thank you.
Hello, technology has its own challenges. So we want to conclude this. Not everybody can talk. We wish to give to some ladies. Violet Akinyi. Violet. If you are not ready, we proceed. Karani. Isaac. Missing. Atinda, I had given you a chance. You didn't talk. Can see your hand is still up. Nicholas.
Should we provide other learning materials, for example, the geometrical set and the
Geometrical set for what, Bwana? What you will need, you can always find out what we need. Don't go for those other things, Bwana. Hakuna geometrical constructions hapa. You will see the approach, how different it is. This is not like high school. Sawa sawa? So allow me to proceed with the course. Are we there? Okay. Now, the first part of this course is statistics. As we said, the second part will be matrix algebra, then public finance, taxation, and finally index numbers. Those are the key parts of the course, the key concepts that we are going to look at. So we want to start by the first, statistics. This is not the first time you are meeting the word statistics or you are meeting statistical concepts. They run through all the way from the former standard 4, now grade 3, 4, up to and including university and other programs like PhD and masters. Because statistics is key. Very, very important for your day-to-day life. So when you say statistics, what is this concept all about? Many people will define statistics in a number of ways. But there are certain things that run through in the definitions. They look at it and agree that statistics is a science. What is science? Science is that which that has defined procedures. So when you talk of statistics as being the science, so we need to look at the science and the procedures that are there in the concept of statistics. So what are the procedures that are there? The procedures are very clear because as a science, statistics deal with specific methods of collecting, organizing, analyzing, presenting, and interpreting data. So basically, therefore, statistics as a concept, we are looking at procedures of how do we collect data, how do we organize data, how do we analyze data, how do we present data, and how do we interpret that data. But when you talk of data, what do we mean? Data is only but information. Information regarding a given phenomenon. I may want information about the number of siblings to each one of you. That information, if I recorded, it will give me what we are referring to as data. I'll collect that. Then I'll have to organize it in a given way, maybe by way of a table or the like, which I can analyze and then present it in a given form. On the basis of what I have collected, organized, analyzed, presented, then I can interpret. Once I've interpreted, I'll be able now to make decisions. So statistics is a science that deals with methods of collecting, organizing, analyzing, presenting, and interpreting data for purposes of decision making. In our everyday life, we collect data. We come across data. We take decisions. But how often do we make viable decisions? It is necessary and sufficient that the decisions we take must have a basis, must have a foundation, which must arise out of a procedure that we must have collected that information, we must organize that information, we must analyze that information, and we must interpret to take a decision. Take, for example, you are first-year students. You are in your second semester of year 1. You just joined us last September. You are going through your various degree programs. At the end of every semester, you sit exams. You will have sat cuts. We'll give you marks. We'll give you a grade. The way I said in the introduction to the course. So at the end of the semester, you'll see your results. At the end of the academic year, you'll see your results. So that is part of the collection. So the results will be organized in terms of a transcript, which gives you results on semester or academic year basis. Then when you analyze that, we'll want to see your performance index for every year. Then at the end of the day, we'll want to see how have you performed cumulatively from year 1 to year 4, which we can present in a tabular form, pie chart form, whatever form. And on the basis of that, we shall be able to interpret your cumulative performance results, determine your performance index in academia, in your program. And on that basis, then we will take a decision and classify you as either first class, second upper, second lower, or pass. So we are taking that decision on the basis of what we have collected, how we organized your results from year 1 all through to year 4. And this is the process that defines the concept of statistics. So if we could briefly look at each one of those, how do we collect data? That data comes in various forms. We have that which we call primary data. We have that which we call secondary data. We have that which we say qualitative data, and we have that which we say quantitative data. Primary data is that original data that we collect firsthand. If I asked you, how many are you in your family? You will tell me, we are 3. I'm the only one. We are 4. We are 20. You see, I record that the way it is. And that gives me first-hand information, original information. That is primary data. What we collect from the field. Secondary data, from the word secondary, it is second. So this is information that we are getting second-hand. Most of us put on second-hand clothes, the so-called mutumba. It is not first-hand. Why I say it's second-hand? Because it's what we can read from books, journals, internet, or we get this information from others. I look at KCSE results the way they were released. I go to the records. I want to see how St. Mary's Boys High School Kibabi performed. How has it been performing over the years? So I look at how they do in 2020, 2021, 2022, and so on. That is secondary data. I look at the performance of an investment, say a supermarket. How did they perform over Christmas? How did they perform over the other periods? I look at this from their records. It's not first-hand. That forms the secondary data. Now, when do we say that a given set of data is qualitative or quantitative? That data that is not numerical, anything that is not numerical, is qualitative. If you talk about gender, male or female, talk about issues of complexion, chocolate, maybe ile omwana inyanya, mwana indumbu, mwana mavere, mwana vaida. That complexion. There's that chocolate, light skin, black fellows in black Africa, in black Kenya, like myself. Those that we classify as vijana fupi nono round, like myself. This is something qualitative. We cannot assign a numerical value. They are not discrete. Those are referred to as qualitative. Issues of agreement, saying yes, no. When you possess a given characteristic, the existence of a given characteristic in a given phenomenon, being male or female, we cannot quantify that. That is therefore qualitative. But anything that we can attach a numerical value, anything that can have number, then that becomes quantitative. Like how many marks? What was the mean? How many children? That which we can attach a numerical value. How much is it? How much were you given for the scholarship? How much were you given by help? How many courses are you taking? That becomes quantitative. So that which we can quantify is quantitative. That which we cannot quantify is qualitative. And that which we can quantify can easily take on two forms. It can assume an exact value, or it can assume a range of values on a continuum. Look at when I talk of the number of children. The number of children, we don't have a fraction human being. It takes on whole numbers. So anything that takes on whole numbers, exact values, that one is referred to as discrete data. It is discrete because it takes on exact values. That which assumes fractions, it can take a fractional value. Look at, for example, your height. You can be 5 feet, 10 inches. That one is a continuous because it can assume even a fraction, not just a whole. Your marks. Marks are continuous because you can get 12.3. Performance index is continuous. But number of people is discrete. Number of vehicles is discrete. Number of girlfriends are discrete. This is what we are talking about. But as we look at this, the way I had said, anything that we can attach numerical value, then that is quantitative, and anything that we cannot attach a numerical value, things like gender, complexion, and what have you, those are qualitative. So as we look at data, we should be able to classify as either being primary or secondary. We should classify further as either being qualitative or quantitative. And for quantitative data, we should be able to classify as either being discrete or continuous. Those are the categories of data. Data is only but information. And why do we need this information? We should collect, we should analyze, we should present the way we talked. Analyze, present, interpret for purposes of taking decisions. So how do we therefore collect data? We collect data by various forms. And this has been improving over time, has been changing over time. As somebody says, truly things are changing and technology is actually influencing our work. These days, anything little, you see people with their phones, screenshotting, taking videos, and what have you. They are collecting data. Others will just see, observe. Observation means you are only using your senses. Sense of sight, sense of smell, sense of touch, sense of hearing, use of senses. That's how we collect the data. You can smell. Those were the good old days when you were coming from school for lunch at home. You could feel some smell in the air of ugali being cooked. And that ugali being cooked, you would just say, na hiyo inatoka kwetu. And truly you arrive home, it is on the maple. If around these days, puria, munaweka stove, munaweka gasi, hata ugali ya hivi, dakika mbili mmetoa. Poor Kenyans, poor Africans, poor people in a hurry to do nothing. But since immemorial, we have had what we refer to as a set of questions. Questions that are geared towards eliciting information regarding a given phenomenon. This set of questions, it comes in two forms. It can be asked or it can be filled. If it is asked and you complete by pen and paper, then that constitutes what we call a questionnaire. So a questionnaire, a set of questions on paper is given unto you, and you as a respondent, you feel. You can feel to the level of agreement, giving your understanding. Like, I can have a set of questions. I know it's very difficult for girls to say when they were born or give their age. So I can formulate a set of questions. They may include the following. When did you sit for your KCSE? Or when did you sit for the following sets of exams? A, KCSE, B, KCPE. Then I stop there. Question 2. Did you ever repeat a class? And the options are yes, no. Okay? Then I give a supplementary question. If yes, at what level? A, primary, B, secondary. Then I stop there. Those are 2 questions in 4 parts. If you answered those ones, then I can work backwards to get to no. Because I know for you to do standard 8, those are 8 years. To do form 4, 4 years. That gives me 12. So I can know what age is somebody in standard 1, which is roughly about 5, 6 years. So I add there 6. Then I get how old you are, given that you are a first year in the university. So I can now work backwards and I'll estimate when you were born. Now, this set of questions in the questionnaire are limiting because they don't go further to ask for finer details. If we want finer details, then we conduct what we call interviews. Interviews is an interaction between 2 or more parties on a given focus. Like I may use the same scenario. I want to find out when Debbie was born or how old is Debbie. So what do? I have an appointment, then I ask her, Debbie, how are you? Fine. When did you sit for your KCSE? Which grade did you get? And now, when did you sit for your KCPE? From which school or which county? You see? Then I asked, did you ever repeat a class? Which class? What were the reasons? You see, I'm getting more information I cannot add. What were the reasons for you to repeat a class? Maybe she didn't make it in the first time. She went back or there was no fees. Maybe she repeated even twice. I'll repeat standard 6, I can repeat standard 8. Amekuja unajua tena form 3 na kuanga ngumu sana kwa wasichana, akarepeat form 3, akabadilisha shule. So you will get that information through interrogation. And interrogation is only possible in interviews. So in interviews, you can interrogate and you can provide more information, seek clarification, like in the questionnaire. So these are the 4 main methods of data collection. And as we are moving forward, we are seeing that technology is being embraced. We just send something in the air. It collects information for us. We just set the CCTVs. They are there, monitoring everything and recording. Then we come back and play back. Then we see what actually happened. These are emerging issues. These are issues of technology. These are the way of doing things. And this is what we are moving towards. So technology is now shaping how we collect data. We can just sit through WhatsApp. You have formed something. This monkey surveys. You have sent something. People feel real time. You have the data with you. And that is what we are talking about. So this forms the very first stage of collecting. We collect data based of from a given group of interest, that which we want to focus on, so that we can now proceed to analyze and organize statistical decision making. So as we do that, we must understand who are we collecting this data from. Where we are collecting data from is generally referred to as the population. That in this population, I want to collect data from university students. So I'll be targeting university students in public institutions, public universities. So you see, that is my target population. I want to target university students in public universities. Now, of those, because they are far and wide, I will delimit. How do I delimit? I want those universities to the west of the Rift Valley. That means I'll be dealing with UOE, Moi, Maseno, Must, Arupe, Kibabi. That becomes my accessible population. So as we access that, we are not able to start study all these that we have access to. We will select a few to represent the entire one. So those that we shall select will form the sample. We call that sample population. So from the entire university students, we have come to those that we can access and those that we have selected. So we will sample from Kibabi University. We want to sample maybe 100. That one will be our sample population. But at Kibabi University, we have 11,000 students. How do we select 100? Those 100 that we shall select will now form the real subjects, the actual respondents, who we shall deal with. So those real subjects, the actual that we shall use, are now what we refer to as the sample units or the units for collection of data. So we collect the data from the particular subjects, which we call units. These units must be in a selected sample. The selected sample must be drawn from an accessible population. An accessible population must be drawn from the target population. That is what we are talking about. But now from the subjects, from the units, the information we get is what we shall refer to as the raw data. Data which we receive, record as it occurs from the units. It is what generates what we said, primary data. If we go back to the categories, primary data, original information collected at first hand. So raw data is that primary data that we are collecting first hand as from the field. If I asked you, how old are you? Then you tell me you are 17 or 18. That 18 is raw data. And that 18 is actually the primary data. That is what we say. So in statistics, we collect the data from units. And data that we collect is actually raw data. And this raw data is what is categorized as primary data, as we did look at. That is what data, methods of data collection is all about. So let us now ask any question about the first data collection. The science that deals with methods of collecting data. If you have any question on collecting data, please feel free to ask. Please repeat the units in part of the population. That's from Cynthia Elizabeth. That's okay. The unit is the smallest part of the population that we are going to collect the data from. So if I am looking at first years of Kibabi University, you are so many. So you form my entire, but I want to access education students. That becomes my accessible. The entire of Kibabi is my target. So I look at those taking education. Those taking education are education art students, education science students, and early childhood education. Those are three. So those would be my accessible. So from this, I may want to look at those who are taking maybe a math physics or certain criteria, or those who come from Bungoma. That becomes my sample. So those that I actually choose, those are the ones that will form my unit, the ones that will participate. Is there the difference between raw data and primary data? I have explained raw data is that which we record the way it has occurred. It has not been organized. But primary data, it can have a semblance or level of organization. Because if you say, I asked about the age of you students, somebody will say 10, 20, 2, 18. I record the way it has occurred. That's the raw data. But now, with the primary data, I can now reorganize that data into something I've gotten firsthand, but I can put it in a better way, as we are going to see in that organization. That would constitute the primary data. So that is the difference. Is it important to look for the advantages and disadvantages of those methods of data collection? Yes, it is. You can look at it at your own free time. Excuse me, sir. Could you share the screens for types of data? How do I share the screen? I'm displaying my screen. Advantages, no problem. Read about them. For you, you should read. I'm only opening up for you to read more. What method data collection are used in primary data and secondary data? Secondary data, we say that this is what is already in textbooks that has been reported in the journals, in what have you. So you cannot, it was already collected. And we collect the data by what we have said, either observation, either questionnaires, either using the videos or photographs, interviews, and what have you. Those are the methods that we have looked at. Is there any difference between? We have looked at that. Could you please repeat? I've looked at that. I want us to move together. Explain more about a questionnaire. A questionnaire, from the word question, it's a set of questions. A set of questions that one responds to, the unit responds to, in terms of the pen and paper. That's what a questionnaire is all about. That questionnaire, one has to respond to a set of questions, asking information about a given phenomenon. That's what the questionnaire is. The way I said, I can have question 1. When did you sit for the following exams? A, CPE, B, KCSE. Then B, did you ever repeat? Options, yes, no. So it can be closed or not closed. If it's closed, we limit you the responses to choose from what we have. If it's not closed and structured questionnaire, it gives you open space for you to decide yourself on what to respond and how to respond to. What we consider in the questionnaire, the focus is mainly on the subject, the phenomenon, what you want to get. You want to elicit certain aspects. You want to get certain information to address a certain issue. So you focus on that. If, for example, I collect data from my men gender, is it an example of a unit? So men gender, there are too many. The unit is actually those from the male students, for example. We are too many. Those that you will select to collect from, you maybe want those who are taking English Lit male. So when you select English Lit male as your respondent, that is what forms the unit. What you are actually going to collect data from, that is the unit. The subjects that will respond to your question. The difference between discrete and continuous. So pay attention because you are asking questions that I have explained. Something discrete is something that takes on a whole number. It takes a specific value. 1, 2, 3, 4. Something continuous, it takes on different values on a continuum. It has fractions. Nelson Nyongeza wa Marwa, pay more attention when I'm explaining this. Discrete takes on whole numbers. Continuous comes with fraction. That's the difference between the two. Anything discrete, it takes on whole numbers. Anything continuous, it comes with fractions. That is the simplest way to separate the two. Do we have any types of questionnaires? I've talked about that. Can you kindly explain more about population? I've repeated enough times on that. Would you display the advantages and disadvantages? I said, go read about them in the notes. Now, Mwalimu, what about survey data? Survey is only a means. It does not belong under the category. Survey is only a means. If you get to do your master's, then you will get into the details of survey. Everything is okay, sir. Let's proceed. Is there a difference between sampling and analyzing? Analyzing. Don't rush. Please, sir, difference between types of observation. Inyi munajifanya munajua sasa, taona huko mbele tu. Difference between discrete again. These guys are repeating the same question. Acha tuwafanyie huruma leo, lakini kwenda mbele watajua wajui. Do we have types of questionnaire? Open and closed. What about grouped data? Munajifanya wajuaji. Importance of data collection methods. Data collection methods can display a crucial role in this. Determine the quality. Hiyo ni yenu, you have shared, understood fully. Let's continue. Thank you, Doc. We are okay. Let's proceed. Madam Emma, thank you so much for giving me a green light. We can now proceed. So we have looked at collecting data. Let us proceed to look at now how do we organize data. Data organization is done by way of tabulation. The basic thing would be how we tabulate data. And why must we tabulate data? Tabulating data simply means we are generating a table to represent the data that we have collected, whether from interviews, whether from photograph, videos, questionnaires, what have you. So we must understand why do we tabulate. Tabulating is a basis for organizing data. Recall our steps. We collect, then number 2, we organize. So we have collected. We want to organize. How do we organize? We organize by way of tabulation. Why must we tabulate? We tabulate so that we can make comparison between the different classes of data. It's actually easy for you to compare. I can compare the girls versus boys. I can compare EDA versus EDS. I can compare lecturers versus the other staff of the university. We are able to do comparisons. We can compare performance. We have African Cup going on. We can compare the performance of the giants, defending champions, the hosts. You saw what happened to Ivory Coast. And you have seen what is happening to Cameroon, because my history is traced in Cameroon. And if you looked at me properly, look at me on the tape, in the video, I look like Patrick Mboma, the Cameroonian footballer of the time, who played with the likes of JJ Okocha and the likes. We are there. You look at me again, I look like Pius Mwiru. For those of you who have not thought about it, look at me. Pius Mwiru is my brother from the other mother. So I don't know if it's my mother or father who didn't tell me the whole truth. But again, you look at me. Then I look like Papa Shirandra. Look at my body size. Look at my big head. Look at it. So we may want to tabulate to bring out comparisons, similarities, and differences between different sets of data. That once we have tabulated, it's very easy for us to locate what we want to focus on. Easy. That through tabulation, we are avoiding unnecessary details. And once we avoid those unnecessary details, then tabulation, therefore, is summarizing data. And when you summarize, it means you are taking less space, you are taking less time, everything is reduced. So this is the essence of tabulating data. For comparison, for location of required data, to avoid unnecessary details, and therefore summarizing data takes less space. That's what we are saying. So how do we go about this? The easiest way of organizing data is to arrange it in what we call an array. Array is spelled as A-R-R-A-Y. An array is nothing but an arrangement of data based on its order of magnitude. What do we mean by order of magnitude? Order of magnitude means what you commonly refer to in primary and secondary schools as arrangement of data in either ascending or descending order. That's what we are saying. That we arrange data in an array so that this array gives us the order of magnitude. The simplest way, you can start with the smallest to the highest. That's ascending. Start with the highest to the smallest. That is what we are saying. So as we do this, we are able to look at what it is. Now, can you look at this example? Exercise. I had an exercise somewhere. Look at this exercise 1. Exercise 1. So we have the following as heights of students. The measurements are taken in centimeters. So we have it as 168, 142, 171, 153, 155, 173, 164, 148, 159, 161, and so on. So can we arrange this in ascending order? Ascending means you start with the smallest to the highest. Can I magnify it so that you can, is it seen properly? Those figures. I try to zoom to 32. You to that 6. Upon Zawagidog. So just look at number 1. Copy that and arrange it in ascending or descending order. You have 5 minutes. Can use 5 minutes to do that. Do it your 5 minutes to organize that. Are you through? Uliwa mute, si ndio? Victor, I've seen you have tried. ziko tatu. Maobe Hezbon, Fair, Equaro, Kemundo, Tantra. And 73 ways ikakuwa mingi. Maslin, PSW nimeona. Okay. Let us proceed. We shall come back to that maybe later in our exercise. So we want now to see how do we tabulate this data. And for us to look at this, I want us to consider an example that is given. Please look at that example that in the year 2021, a certain firm employed 90 staff, of whom 79 were men. During the year, 17 staff left, and 13 of these were men. The total recruitment during the year was 13, out of whom 3 were women. In 2022, wastage declined by 3 among men as compared with the 2021, and no woman left. We can have a comma here, no woman left. 6 more men, but 1 fewer women were recruited than the previous year. The total number of employees as at 1st of January 2022 was 93. Let us tabulate that data. How do we proceed to tabulate that data? How do you tabulate that data? I want you to pay attention and look at what I'm going to do on the whiteboard, because we have the information with us. We have been given information about our farm for the year 2021 and 2022. So for us to understand and summarize the way we said earlier, that we can make a comparison, we can locate the required data easily, we can avoid unnecessary details, and we can summarize that data. Let's see if we can achieve that from this data that we have collected from a given farm. So in this, we are told of 2 years, 2020, 2021. We are told about recruitment of staff. We are told about those who left. And we are also told about issues of men and women. So we should be able to look at this so that we see the employees at the start, those that were recruited, and those that left. Let's see how we can tabulate this on the chalkboard. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are told about employees in a farm. So the title that we are considering is employees in a farm. That's what we are doing. That's the information we are talking about. So how is this? This is given in terms of 2-year period. So we have the year 2021 and we have the year 2022. What information are we given? We are given information about men. Then we are given information about women. And we can provide now the total for that. For 2022, we also have men, we have women, and we can give the total. So, what time periods are we given? We are given as at 1st January. We are also given information about recruitment done in that respective year. We are also given information about those who left. And we can get information about the total at the end of the year. So we are looking at it, and this is the information that we have. We have information regarding the years, regarding men, regarding women. We have at the start, we have those recruited, and we have those who left. So we can now complete that information in this table, a table that is summarizing all that which that we are given. We are told, and we refer to it, that in the year 2021, a farm had 90 staff. So the total here is 90. Of whom, how many were women? And how many were men? So we check back and see if we check back. We are told that 79 were men. So if men are 79, complete the table. How many women were left? So it's 90 minus 29, and that will give you 11. So we proceed to the second statement about recruitment. In that year, if we read it, 17 staff left, and 13 of these were men. So we have information of those who left. A total of 17 left. I can put in brackets so that we know that that's the one who left. Of these 17, 13 were men. So how many women left? 17 minus 13. That gives us 4. So these are the total number of those who left. Then we are told recruitment during the year was 13, of whom 3 were women. Recruitment during the year was 13, of whom 3 were women. So how many men were recruited? 10. And then, by the end of the year 2021, how many men were there? So it's 79 plus 10 minus 13. And that gives us, this is 89. That will be 5. 8 minus 1, 7. 75 men were there. How about women? We have 11. 11, we recruited 3, 4 left. So they should give us 10. The total, therefore, at the end will give us the total staff of 8. So this is 76, sorry. 79 plus 10 minus 13 give us 76. So 11 plus 3, that's 14 minus 4, 10. So this gives us 6. That's at the end of 2021. So at the start of 2022, at the start, how many men are there? 76. How many women are there at the start? We are assuming that those who are there at the end started. So this was 10. And then the total is 6. So we look at information given for the year 2022. For the year 2022, we are told that wastage declined by 3 among men as compared with 2021. So what is this that we are being told as wastage? Wastage must be those who left. So if it declined by 3 and we had 13, how many are left in 2022? So it should be 13 minus 3 give you 10. Then we are told that in the same year, there is no woman left. 0. So the total number of those who left this far was 10. Then we are told 6 more men. 6 more men, but 1 fewer woman were recruited. 6 more men. So if you look at recruitment, we recruited 10. Now we have 6 more. That means 10 plus 6 will give us 16. But 1 fewer woman, we recruited 3. So 1 less, that gives us 2. The implication therefore is that total recruitment for this farm stood at 18. And therefore, by the end of the year 2022, how many men were there? So 76 plus 16 minus 10. And that will give us 76 plus 86 plus 16, that gives us 92 minus 10, that is 82 men. Women, we had 10. We recruited 2, 9 of them left. So this gives us a total of 12. And at the end of it all, the number of employees that farm stood at 4. So we are looking at how are we calculating this information about employees in this farm. So we can calculate it as such, and this giving us a summary of what we intend to have. So out of this, therefore, we can interpret by looking at the data. Because simply looking at it, we have 13 men left in 2025, 10 men left. 4 left, women left in 2025, 9 men. So it means, in terms of interpretation, more men are leaving this farm. That's one. On the contrary, there, more women are retained in this farm. And we can therefore, out of that conclusion, make a recommendation. Look at in terms of the affirmative action, if you want to look at it that way, that in 2021, we had 76 men and men. We had 10 women. In 2022, we have 82 men against 12 women. So is this compliant to the affirmative action? Well, we have 76 men against 10 women, 82 men against 12. So we can see to it in terms of interpretation that this is not compliant because a third should be of the opposite gender. So what shall we recommend there? Shall we recommend for employment of more women? And if so, why? On that basis, if we recommend more women, we'll be completing compliance of the third group. That very few women are leaving. And what is that in terms of human resource? If you retain a staff for more time, that staff becomes more productive. Because they're investing in this staff in form of training, in form of experience, and what have you. So if that is the case, then you will go in and recommend for the recruitment of women that men on those two reasons. So that is how we can look at this data. That's how we can calculate. That's how we can interpret, and that's how we make the computation arising from the set. This is one example. Let us look at example 2. So let us look at example 2. Example 2 is regarding performance of students in an examination. And we are saying that the following report was prepared by an examinations officer on the performance of students. That out of the 3,500 male candidates below 20 years of age, 500 passed. And of the 1,100 male candidates 20 years and above, 900 failed. As regards the female candidates, out of the 500 candidates below 20 years of age, 400 failed. Of the 340 females of 20 years and above, only 80 passed. Tabulate the information. Tabulate the information. Tabulate the information. So you look at this and then you must understand what information have you been given. This information regards performance of students. And therefore the title should be student performance. We have information regarding their age. We have information about their gender, male and female. And we have information about those who passed and those who failed. So how do we present this? You can present it as long as those key things are reflected. Suppose we use the following table. This is example 1, then example 2. About now. So we want to give information about student performance, which is given in the report of the examination officer. So what we have under consideration is 1, the age. So we have those 20 years and below. These are in terms of men, then women. Then we have 20 years and over. We have men, then women. So we have those who pass. We have those who fail. And then we have the total. Because these are the things that we have given. Those evaluations below the years. Say below the years. So complete to see below 20 years, how many men passed, how many men failed, and what was the total? How many women passed, how many women failed, and what was the total? Then those that are 20 years and over, how many men passed, how many men failed, and how many men were there? Similarly for women, how many men passed, women passed, how many women failed, and how many women were there in total. Try to complete because we are reflecting the key parameters. One is age, two is gender, and three is the performance level as either passed or failed. Complete that, then we see how the table will come out. So we can also give the total now, down here of all the students, how many passed, how many failed, and what is that of skill. You have 3 minutes, complete that. Complete the table. Mtu anasema wamemute. Hii imeenda wapi? I'm waiting for you to work it out. I cannot feed you. share results. No, the question is there. Ambrose Odero, what's the problem? Ambrose, what's the problem? Didan, you are making a lot of noise now. Umeanza sielewi. Endelea kupiga kelele vile ulikuwa ukipiga tuone. Students are confusing. Mmoja alishaenda mbele kitambo. Hajafanya hiyo. So please compare with the table. Compare with the results I'm sharing. Compare with the results. Compare with those results. Compare with the results I've shared. Okay. Bryson Amunga. Any problem? The results are displayed on the screen. The correct results are displayed on the screen. The results are there. Those are the results. Here, the first one. How it is being reflected in your student performance. Wanafunzi ni wanafunzi tu. First class loading, correct 100%. Wanafunzi ni wanafunzi tu. Okay. Are we there? You can now see where you went wrong. You can see what is expected of you. And I'm happy some of you are commending yourselves for the good effort. Should we proceed or we call that enough for today as for introduction? Do we proceed, class rep? Do we proceed or we have it enough for today? No, one quiz.
Yeah, doesn't.
I'm asking a question. We have unmuted you. I want an answer. Do we continue to the next item? The next level of organization? That's enough for today. Hands are raised.
Proceed.
Bwana Doctor, acha tu tumalizie hapo for today.
It was too much.
Let us proceed.
Moderators proceed.
Amesema let's proceed bwana.
Order, ladies and gentlemen.
Yaani mtu ana number notes.
Order. You know, we have the key. If you don't want to listen, we switch you off. Because we don't want your noise. We want orderly presentations. So we have a few hands raised up. I had posed a question. So we will ask Luis to be the first. Amepotea. Kiboi. Kiboi?
Yes, we had asked about to proceed or to stop there, but in my concern, to stop there.
Your concern is?
To stop.
Okay. Amunga? Bryson, Amunga? Bryson Amunga has gone missing. Daniel Amunya? Amunya? Daisy? Owili? Umepotea? Opio? Changalwa? Emma? Commander. Grace Wafula?
So, kindly we
Yes? Yes, Grace?
I was saying that
You are saying?
we should stop.
Okay. Edina Oyota?
Now,
Your hand is up?
yeah, enough.
Okay, Ruth Mugwana?
Nitajibu mimi.
Enough.
Raymond?
Doctor.
Next week.
Proceed, bwana.
Now, bundles, no bundles.
Baba,
Boniface Otieno?
maliza tafadhali.
Wewe mbisi remember.
Wait, class ni ndogo bwana. Proceed.
Now, this is what we want to do. Order.
Another product of successful abortion.
This is what we want to do.
Time itafika bwana. Shida sijuangi password yangu.
Order.
We can conclude and say that we have had an introduction of the course. We have looked at the course objectives. We have looked at what is expected of us. And we have set the ground rules. Next week, the class will start on the hour. And we will want to proceed full throttle because we will want to have our Cat 1 around the time of the cultural week, end of next month. We shall have covered some ground for Cat 1. The last week of February, we should be able to do Cat 1. So we'll cover ground. So next week, we will meet from 7:30. But we want to agree so that we meet even earlier than that. Because once we start early, the better. It gives us time. Maybe you can stop at 10 so that you can change over to another class. I wish to appreciate those who are giving commendations about the lesson. We hope that things will be okay. I know you will give me names. Papa Shirandra, I've seen it there. Because I look like him, I don't take offense. Otherwise, thank you so much. And may God bless you. Enjoy your weekend and keep it safe. Till next week, Thursday, 7:30 a.m., the same link shall be used. Thank you. Bye-bye.